Hey, what's going on? I'm DJ Sixsmith. Welcome to Sit Down. Lauren E. Banks here with us. City on a Hill Season 2 coming back to Showtime. Lauren, what's up? How are you?
What's up, DJ? Nice to see you again.
It was very nice to see you again. I feel like it was a couple years ago. We were in studio in New York. Now we're doing the
Yeah.
whole Zoom thing. So, hey, it's good to be
Studio in
talking
my living
about
room
different.
now. Huh? Yeah, I agree. A lot different.
Yeah, we'll take it. And, listen, City on a Hill obviously has been a long time in the making. When we go back to the beginning of it, here we are in season 2. So, first off, season 1, I thought it was a really awesome show. It was cool to see you display all these different layers to your character. So, what was the first season like for you?
Well, the first season, yeah, it was. Thank you for that because it was a lot of fun, and I thought, you know, it was my first big gig out of grad school, so I didn't have anything to compare it to or anything to necessarily to expect. So I was really happy they gave my character so much to dig into, and myself as an actor, therefore, to portray. It was, the ride for Siobhan. I think she was very much. She's from Cambridge, Boston. She has parents who were in the fight, if you will, the struggle in Boston in the '60s, like her mother, and her father, who her late father. So I think she grew up in a certain amount of privilege as it related to her proximity with struggle. Um, but of course, she didn't have to inherit any of the burdens. And I think we watched Siobhan navigate just doing things to have a career and be ambitious. And then I think we saw a turning point for her um, after the very gruesome experience of the shooting in the church and her desire to do something about it and to navigate how to do that within a firm, where she's a lawyer at a firm that doesn't really handle things like that. So it was good. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, you just hit on so many different fascinating things, and then you also have what's going on with DeCourcy and his
Yeah.
career and that relationship too. So, what intrigued you there? Because this is, stuff that all couples deal with, but to get to a deeper level was really moving to me. What was it like to actually, play that out on screen?
It was really nice because I don't I was born in 1990. I'm just telling everybody my age, but and so I wasn't aware as much or conscious as much, right, of what was happening in the zeitgeist. But I do fashion and imagine DeCourcy and Siobhan's like relationship to kind of mirror my parents' relationship and the one that I witnessed growing up, and them being professionals. Even my father being an attorney, my mother being in medicine, and then trying to navigate um, having two careers that are pulling you in very dynamic ways, but then also coming back to love and not letting one's ego inflate over the other, and like how to be teammates and when both people have a lot on their plates. And I just really admired how we found moments for softness, we found moments for vulnerability, between the two, and it was interesting. I was reading an article that they said one of the best lines of episode, I think 6 or something, was when Siobhan says, "I don't need a man to handle my problems, handle my fight my battles for me." And I think I admire that she is self-determined and really values her own mind and how she navigates her conflicts and obstacles. But at the same time, I think what was lovely about the arc is that she, realizes, like, okay, maybe my father died early on and I didn't necessarily get to see two dynamic people interact, but now I'm learning how to do that with DeCourcy. And I thought that was beautiful because it's
Yeah.
always a learning process. I can say that, being in a relationship. So yeah.
Totally. I mean, that's just being vulnerable in a relationship, right? You're gonna have your great days, you're gonna have your rough days. And I think it's really
Totally.
interesting to play that out on screen, and also just to have the backdrop of what was happening in the 90s in Boston. And so much
For sure.
hasn't changed, because you think about what's happened in this country since the show was on the air, it's been an
Mhm.
explosion of conversations of racial injustice and
Mhm.
COVID-19 with mental health. So what's it like to have season 2 roll out now, given everything that's happened since season 1 was on the air?
It's something. I'll say that for sure. We even since we start, it's been a year,
Mhm.
a little over a year since we started shooting season 2. because we started in February of 2020, and by March of 2020, we were all packing our bags and going home for a hiatus.
Right, a couple weeks, right? We'll see you in a couple
A
weeks.
2-week hiatus.
Yep.
and we go home, and the pandemic hits hard, and so does a lot of social warfare. You know what I mean? Like, hits hard and hits very close to home. And then to see that, and then come back, in September, and then shoot a show that deals with the misconduct of law enforcement, and people figuring out creative ways to infiltrate a system, or to change a system, or to hold a system accountable, right? As my character, Siobhan, I think, and DeCourcy, and other characters who were in season 1, but new characters now in season 2 who get to do that. And I found shooting the rest of the season, I was very thankful that I was in a vehicle that allowed me as an artist and as a person to express some of the sentiments that I might have expressed during the summer through my character. I was also, and to be proud of the work that we're portraying, because I know, there are a lot of shows that fell under the radar or under a deep amount of scrutiny because of the way in which they portray law enforcement to be the good guys fighting the bad guys, right? And in our show, law enforcement, they are the bad guys.
Oh yeah, the flawed and the deeply troubled in this show.
Yeah, and so it was nice to be able to be, working and care about all these things, and not feel like, we're perpetuating the BS, but rather we have an opportunity to even expand upon what we've already, laid on the ground. And that's not just a testament to our creators in the writers' room, but it is. But in addition, it's just a testament to the people, the real life people in Boston, who, not unlike people today, said, okay, enough is enough. Let's take responsibility for our city. Let's not only look to leadership, elected officials to make change, but let's walk out of our church, let's walk out of our community, buildings, and let's see something happen, and let's put the rubber to the road.
Yeah, it's really wonderfully said. Let's not rely on these people. Let's have the conversation, and let's create action, because so much of our generation is like, we're going to talk about it on social media, we're going to try and do something about it, but now things are happening, and there are vehicles like this to push things forward, and I think that's really cool. So what does it mean to you that you can use your art for a bigger purpose? Like, I was just talking with Aldis a little while ago, and he's played Jim Brown and Brian Banks and all these characters that really speak to what's happening in this culture. So what does it mean to you to be able to really move people with your art?
Well, it means a lot. It really does mean a lot. I had a very profound moment of gratitude this summer, because I spent a good amount of the summer in Louisville, Kentucky, organizing on behalf of Breonna Taylor. And I was just there as a Black girl, in America, who cared about what was happening, not as an actor, not as an artist even, just a human in this country with a moral responsibility. And upon leaving, after organizing, after meeting so many people on the ground, after having the experiences that I had with the people organizing in Louisville, I was incredibly moved to help tell that story, to help to contribute to getting Breonna's story and the story of everything that was occurring that people couldn't see on mainstream media or the news, because it simply wasn't being reported on, to be able to share that. And so I wouldn't have had that opportunity to write a op-ed or to speak, you know what I mean? Just to bring Breonna Taylor and Kenny Walker and Janiyah Palmer and Tamika Palmer's name into the zeitgeist, without having had the opportunity of working on the show, without having had, being a professional artist in this realm on this platform. So just a lot of gratitude to know that I felt like the universe had positioned me to be able to make that particular contribution. And which is different than what I was doing 10 years ago when I was, had a bullhorn on 14th Street in DC, like, somebody pay attention. So, but they're both effective, and
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah, and
it
it
means a
just
lot to me.
depends on the moment in time, right? You know, at one point it's the bullhorn, but another point it's being in Louisville and being out there in the streets and really getting people to move. And you know, that is something that I think is really important. And I think, you know, not remaining silent is also a really important thing in using your platform. So whether it be as an actor, as a regular person, like I think that's the coolest part of the world we live in today. And I think it's awesome that you were
Not
doing
at
that
all.
this summer.
Yeah, yeah, it was good.
Well, Lauren, I really appreciate you taking the time. Looking forward to season 2. Thanks so much, and
Thank
best luck with
you.
everything going forward, right?
Okay, same to you, DJ. Nice to see you again.